Well, so with the main story, let's go into chapter 16, Together Forever.
I'm disappointed, Pedro. We didn't use the clue.
Or rather, sorry.
Ibfreet.
Chapter 16, Ibfreet.
You didn't use the clue movie card, so this is what happened. But what about this?
I could. That's true. I guess I kind of grew up. I mean, I could use it, but I didn't think of it actually. Maybe for next time.
I guess one thing I'll be spending the next few parts doing is trying to see if there's any thematic depth to the difference in choices that Lola presents to really try and get why this is the dividing point.
I don't get it either, no. But yeah, you might remember how at the end of chapter 15, Mariana and Zagi were injured. So so now we're watching the same scene with them in hospital, but this time it's written a bit differently and things go a bit differently.
Well, yeah.
We have a joke in my country that if you end up going to the same hospital multiple times in quick succession, you should be awarded a golden card of fidelity.
Is that like equivalent to
I might as well.
an award?
You might have noticed how I'm using the event gallery to watch all the cutscenes. This is something that I found interesting now that I'm getting more into Compile Heart stuff. So, Neptunia OG on the PS3 also has an event gallery, meaning you can rewatch all of the cutscenes in here. Same thing for a lot of the other Neptunia games. And yet, for some reason, neither Refrain Chord, neither its Advent Dark Force edition have an event gallery. This one has, of course, but how come Advent Dark Force didn't have one? It's weird, because like most of the games that are made by this team, like for example, Dragonstar Varner also has it. For example, to give you guys an idea. So,
AJ, I appreciate your desire to comfort, people in trying to express positivity, but maybe Zagi doesn't actually want physical contact right now.
Yeah, true.
Just checking. You haven't shown off the different Lola choice yet. Like this is the lead up to that, or is this something that happens after choosing the alternate Lola choice?
It's right after the choice. Okay, how about this? Fine, I'll save the suspense. On chapter 15, this time what I did was I picked the other option, but aside from that, nothing changed.
Asking what Lola actually answered to you.
No, she doesn't answer anything. She just, in fact, there's no actual answer from Lola after the choice. It's just Fang saying
AJ, because this happens potentially too.
Yeah, basically.
Anyway, I was mainly just trying to recall what the choices she presented. If you were to
say, that's him.
Maybe.
No, not really. No. Trust me, you're not you're not missing anything.
I'm just trying to remember what those choices
were.
What
the choice was. Basically, she asks, how's the Fury collecting thing? And you can say it's either going great or it's not going very well. And that's what decides what and right now we're doing the route of Fang saying the Fury collecting is not going very well.
Also, to answer your question, Jova, it's more, similar to when you go to a place multiple times where they give you like a card with stamps for fidelity.
So now, in this version of the story, now we get a flashback to how Zagi and Ibfreet's lives were at the Institute.
My God, will we get an even deeper look into Zagi's character in this route?
Technically, yes, you can say that, I guess. It's not going to be much. Don't expect much though, because this is mostly going to be about the whole Junon thing. Because remember, this game's retelling of that, basically.
Again, in a way, it's kind of fascinating to see which characters are more considerable pet characters to the writers and which aren't, technically.
Mm-hmm.
I find it weird that a case could be made that Zagi has arguably gotten more character development than some of the actual playable characters. Still, this is interesting stuff.
What, they have to play Advent Dark Force?
No, but yeah, like I was saying, yeah, that's the weird thing. Like most Compile Heart games that I've seen, at least so far, have cutscene viewers or theater modes, if you prefer that term. Neither Advent Dark Force nor the original Refrain Chord had it though. It's such an outlier. Like, why exclude that standard option you've been offering for a long time at that point?
That is a very weird decision.
I mean, in this one, it's much easier. See, if the event gallery was a thing in Advent Dark Force, it would have been easier. I wouldn't have had to use YouTube footage to showcase all the endings, Because remember, in Advent Dark Force, in order to even record all the endings, I would have had to complete the game like 10 times, you know? And it would have been so annoying, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. The best of friends, together forever.
Yeah. Like I said, I so don't give a shit about Ibfreet. I really don't. Sorry. I don't dislike him or anything, it's just that... I don't dislike him or anything, it's just that I find him completely uninteresting. And he has by far the worst fairy in this franchise.
I'm fine with Ibfreet, but I will agree, it does feel like most of his character just centers around Zagi.
Yeah.
Which is...
Hell, even Noi...
I'm constantly trying to think.
Hell, fucking Noi is more fleshed out in this game than Ibfreet is. Just think about that.
Like, okay, I'm not saying you can't do that sort of character. I mean, heck, that's pretty much Yandere's bread and butter, essentially. It's just that...
I forgot his name.
Which person you thinking
Not one that you know, Jova. Pedro, you played Vesperia. What's the name of the guy that's obsessed with Yuri? I forgot.
Zagi. His name is also Zagi, actually.
Yes.
would you say he's comparable a bit to Ibfreet?
Well, okay. I don't really want to go into his Vesperia rant. I'll just say that for now. Zagi's thing about why he's obsessed with Yuri is never explained in the game, and neither...
I'll need to try to get back to play that.
There's actually been a recent retrospective video that someone made on Vesperia, and it's a really good one. It's one that I agree on a lot on. Not everything, but and does a good job calling out so many of the flaws that I don't see many people calling out when it comes to that. Because you never learn what the hell Zagi's thing in Vesperia. But again, back to this. Yeah, with Ibfreet...
Funny thing is, I actually didn't know about Zagi from Project Cross.
That being said, Tail, I'll still answer your question. I'll still take Ibfreet, because with Zagi in Vesperia... Keep in mind, I'm talking about Vesperia Zagi, not this Zagi. With Vesperia Zagi... We basically learn nothing about him and everything. Why he's insane, like why Yuri, like whereas in here, at least I have a basic background for Ibfreet's character, at least.
Okay, why were there 3 Chapter 6 sections? Like, I can get there being 2, because, you know, alternate routes, but I thought there were only 2 routes. Why are there 3 different Chapter 16 scenes that you can
that's simple, Jova. Basically, the event gallery lists every single cutscene, and by that I mean every single cutscene of every chapter.
Say 16.1, 0.2, 0.3,
yeah. What I'm picking right now, Jova, are the various cutscenes that play in Chapter 16. Then we'll get to the Chapter 17 cutscenes, and so on and so forth.
I get that, but I kind of like 3. I assume that one of them is some of the alternate routes, so how do you keep track of which is which?
Oh, that's easy. Here's how the event gallery works. When you first play the game, the game keeps unlocking on the list every single cutscene that you watch for the first time, right? After you finish the game and you watch your first ending, it unlocks the ending. In my case, Epilogue Fleur, since that was the first ending I got on my first run. After that, if you manage to go to the other route, the alternate route cutscenes start showing up on the list after the last cutscene you unlock. So basically, the way the event gallery works is it lists off all the cutscenes in the order that you unlock them in. So basically,
some numbers after 25.
Yeah. So basically, Chapter 16, Ibfreet, has been placed on the list after my original Chapter 25. It's a bit confusing, I know, but I mean, the developers thought that this was the way, I guess.
It must make it awkward if you're alternating on save files between the 2 routes, unless it only counts the one save file, in which case
no. Even though the game has a system data that it saves, the stuff you unlock is not shared. The event gallery is not shared between all saves for some reason. Like, but don't worry, like
I'm guessing
all I did was just I played the game once, and I've been replaying the same save file through New Game Plus over and over, which carries over all my stuff, of course. So basically, don't bother with new game. In fact, if you want to do a new game without carrying anything of your New Game Plus stuff, I recommend you pick the New Game Plus option and just click Not Transfer for all the options. That way, you can still at the very least carry over your cutscenes for the event gallery at least.
I'm guessing the main reason they did the whole saves aren't shared thing is to make it so that you can't accidentally alternate between the two routes, which would then make how the cutscenes are saved in the gallery a bit of a mess if you tried to go back and forth between the two routes.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, it would have been far easier if they just did it the way Kingdom Hearts does it, where the cutscenes you unlock in the theater mode are saved into the game system data, and they're just there on the title menu, regardless of what save files you have, like the actual game save files you have on the phone.
You're talking about the remake, right? Because the original Kingdom Hearts, I don't recall having.
Yeah, they need to be patched in.
That's because the theater mode of Kingdom Hearts 1 was added for the first time in the HD version, yes. Because even the PS2 final mix, if I remember correctly, didn't have a theater mode. Yeah, no, it didn't. I'm pretty sure it didn't.
I'm one of those.
No, it was added in the PS4 version as a patch in, and I know that because the first time they did it was like 3.2 gigas.
Yeah, in the PC version, it's already there as well as the Xbox versions.
I'll wake him up from his nightmare and show him the truth.
So yeah, now we have to still, even though the plot is not in a diverge, a lot of the same plot points we've seen are going to repeat still. We'll still have to find a way to recruit Ibfreet. We still have to stop Al and try to find a way to save Fleur and Glass. So a lot of the same plot. Don't expect a gigantic difference. I'm telling you right now. There's going to be the new elements like Junon, but aside from that, it's still basically the same story.
Again, one of the reasons possible is because from what I heard, the Junon voice actress was recasted because the original one retired or had some degree of controversy, apparently.
Interesting.
But yeah, I'll admit, with this cutscene, granted, I would probably need to see the scenes back to back. I'm not noticing too much difference yet, but to be fair, we've just started the diverge. I still find it weird, though, that they kind of make it unclear that this is where the divergence occurs until, you find out.
It's
Actually,
like,
remind me, how did you find out about that divergence?
I had to look up online.
Right.
And not remember, Jova, like I said, the Twit gamer, which is the guy who does a lot of Compile Heart runs, his Fairfin's Refrain Chord run doesn't even have this alternate route. So I can only assume that even he doesn't know, because again, the game does such a poor job communicating with you. Like,
it's such a weird thing to do.
How about this? How about have some kind of... Okay, if not for the trophies, at least in the game, like you can have some kind of thing where the event gallery has the locked cutscenes with a question mark there, so that the player knows that there's something else he needs to do. Then they think, okay, what different thing I can do to potentially unlock these new cutscenes? Oh wait, isn't there a choice with Lola? Let's try and pick the other option. There you go. That will be a way for the player to at the very least deduce what he has to do. But no, there's no attempt to convey this to the player. Go on.
Also, I forget if this was in the other route, but it is interesting that they bring up the potential of there being a separation in dignity between those who are fencers and those who aren't fencers. It's kind of like the idea of what Legend of Korra Book 1 was going for with benders and non-benders.
I remember Reverend Dark Force having some degree of that. That's why Sherman is considered a celebrity, basically, for example.
Meanwhile, Paiga is still miserable.
God forbid he actually get a win in this route.
No, again, it's basically a punching bag for the plot to have. I kind of get it. Just because I'm biased mostly towards his plight doesn't mean I don't get it.
To be fair,
yeah, sure. I mean, I get it. He's technically a bad guy, but the thing is, even Avon Dark Force...
the idea that his wife does, he's a family man, so he's kind of a bumbling idiot.
I think the problem is that here's the problem. I get it. He's meant to be a joke character, where the joke is how he's constantly, nothing ever goes well for him. I understand. The thing is, usually with jokes like these, you make it so that there's some kind of karma where the character on some level deserves it. And Paiga doesn't deserve most of the things that come towards him. As a result, it just, instead of funny, it just comes across as sad and mean-spirited at times.
And the thing is,
there is the fact that for most of the game, he basically is a bit guilty of inaction. He at any point can try to actually escape or tell the party to try to protect him, but he doesn't.
admittedly, given how Dorfer are the big brother, big scary organization.
Again, all the other Dorfa employer defect onto them, but you will think that at least Paga will ask for protection to his family. Even Apollonius does that, knowing that his sister is in jeopardy as a result.
Remember,
I'm guessing the idea is that Pyke is just that much of a coward. Again, here's the thing, though. He was better in Advent Dark for a sec. And again, I seem to recall at least one.
It's also the it's also the fact that Advent Dark Force is at a different set of stakes, meaning that what Dorfa did was still pretty evil in its own, had a bit more reason to it, and had someone like Paga being a bit more justified. But I want to remind again what happened here: experimentation on children.
Yeah.
That's kind of a bit more important thing.
Yeah.
How weird is it that despite arguably having lower stakes, they actually kind of up the ante
That's why
in a lot of ways here, and
that's why the
ways
ending
that definitely makes Sorcerer and Dorf out to be even more despicable than they were.
That's why the ending of the story falls flat for me, because I'll never get any kind of comeuppance for experimenting on.
I already said he should have died. Simple as that. But no.
What are you guys talking about? He got wounded. That's punishment enough. And hey, he'll die of old age. It's
Just
fine.
one-
He totally learned his lesson.
Just one final thing I want to say about the whole here, let me give you an example. Chuck Jones, the director of most of the Roadrunner cartoons from back in the 1940s and 50s, right? One of the rules he had that he always communicated to his production crew when making the Roadrunner shorts is that the Roadrunner never at any point hurts the coyote, at least not directly. And that's
That
because
got changed up in some later shorts after him.
and guess what?
Yeah, that did seem to be
Yeah, Jova,
consistent.
that is true, Jova. And guess what's the difference between those later shorts and the earlier shorts? Chuck Jones was no longer
Cheaper.
involved. Chuck Jones was no longer involved.
Yeah.
Basically, because
Same with Bugs Bunny, I believe, too.
well, that's another story. But the point is, Chuck Jones had a specific rule that the Roadrunner never harms the coyote, at least not directly. Why? Because the coyote is just hunting the Roadrunner to feed. So it's not like the Roadrunner it's not like the coyote is being malicious. He just wants to eat, right? So Chuck Jones, being the most thoughtful of the Looney Tunes directors from back in the day, he knew that if they made the Roadrunner harm the coyote actively, he would have made those shorts come off as mean-spirited,
I still kind of hated him though.
Really? What did
Yes,
you hate poor Coyote for?
Well,
No, I hated the Roadrunner, despite the fact that
No. To be fair, Taylor's specific. Even though the Roadrunner is just running away because it doesn't want to be eaten, a lot of people just want the Roadrunner to just win for at least once because they empathize with the coyote.
Farland told me what would happen if the coyote win, and it's not really that kind of impactful. So I guess it's better this way. Anyway.
If I recall correctly, at this point, as far as the team is concerned, Al is still on our side, too.
Yeah, with him, it happens way later, towards I think chapter 20.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this time we're going to ambush. So there you go, guys. So you're starting to see what I mean. We're going through the Ibfreet thing, but this time it's in the desert instead of the volcano. See?
The butterfly effect is a bitch.
I'm embarrassed to admit, I know it's in the same playthrough, but these kind of blended in with the alternate route for me.
No, trust me, Jova. Aside from the Junon aspects, like the wine and stuff like that, everything else is just basically the same, just repackaged with a slightly different skin and slightly different phrasing.
Maybe. Is there? Yeah, I was gonna ask. Is there at least, I guess, different dialogue along the way?
Oh yeah, there is. That's what I'm saying. Different, slightly reskinned and slightly reworded. That's the basic. But the plot points themselves are still the same, basically. So don't expect anything noteworthy.
I'm guessing if I did some very in-depth video essay about directly comparing these two cutscenes.
See, they're even doing the same thing, where Ibfreet is convinced that Fang and the others turn Zagi against him and fed him with lies. It's the same thing we saw in the other route.
Okay, I'm sure if I did an in-depth video essay comparing the two cutscenes, I'm sure I would discover truly some masterful comparison to show the ever so subtle differences that the consequences of our choices totally have.
Sure.
Yet the fact that I can't even really get a glimpse of that from the get-go probably tells me it would be a waste of my time. And I guess it probably
I'm sure
doesn't.
Zagi will appreciate that.
Also, I guess I'll give Advent Dark Force this. It was a lot more apparent always from the get-go that something was up with the alternate routes, essentially.
Remember, when we start the Vile God route, we start with Tiara completely changed as a character, you know? We don't really get that kind of variation in here. Don't expect that kind of interesting variation in here. Not really.
Oh, in this case, Noe and Ibfreet fight over who gets to kill us. What's that?
No, not that I remember, Drova.
Okay, so this is a difference then.
I appreciate that this game did something better with Noe compared to Advent Dark Force, but I still don't think he's all that great.
You know, I'll say this. Why didn't they once again do a time travel aspect, given how a time machine is legit a plot point at some point? Even if we don't actually create one, Fleur mentions that she could possibly make one, and I wouldn't put it past Al to have a time machine. Although, granted, I guess if he did actively have the time machine, one would wonder why he doesn't just go back in time to fix his errors. But still, there are plenty of ways to induce time travel.
So, should we maybe escape while they're arguing?
Nah.
No. Kill two birds with one stone.
Look at that, Whips. A hitman among hitmen.
Well, Barhus is bold. So actually, no. Agent 47's one of his distinct gimmicks is that he has absolutely no hair at all.
So basically, there's a battle. Yeah, there's a battle, and yeah.
Do we actually fight both of those two as a boss fight? I guess in that battle.
Basically, yeah. Don't worry. Like again, the same stupid stuff we've done with the battles. We've already battled Noe. We've already battled Ibfreet. We know how this goes. It's just like. And it's even the same desert area we've seen multiple times by this point.
We shall meet again.
We'll meet again. Don't know where. Don't know when.
I mean, to be fair, the climax of this game involves a doomsday device.
Yeah. I couldn't save him by killing him. I'm a failure. Sorry, Senpai, I couldn't murder you.
But you know how brainwashing works, Zagi? I mean...
I get what he's doing.
So,
it's,
I know the real you is in there
you.
somewhere, yeah.
I'm not entirely
sorry, Ibfreet, you just got friend zoned.
I'm not entirely certain if this is the best way to handle a traumatized, brainwashed person.
I mean, again, Fang also had something like that in the climax of the previous timeline, where he basically said to Ren, "Oh, don't worry, Ren. That guy there, Al, he's the one that's responsible for your brother. Go kill him."
He basically sicked that girl on that guy.
A lot of things about it being too dangerous for people to do on their own.
Well, it is a dangerous world.
Yeah, the superpower is teamwork.
Because we're fairy fencer heroes. Did I already do this?
Yeah, you've done that joke in the original game.
You know, Fairy Fencer Heroes does sound like a potential sequel title.
Well, it has to have the F in it, because at this point the franchise is literally called Fairy Fencer F.
Fairy Fencer effing heroes.
You know, pay your respect.
You know what? I got a new joke. The F stands for flaccid, because that's how the script of these games feels. Incredibly flaccid.
We'll sing songs together, take showers together, sing around the campfire together.
Campfire? I thought you all lived in a hotel.
Well, that doesn't mean we can't have some nights out, does it?
True. Aw, he's blushing.
But you didn't do anything.
I guess technically he did, since we did fight and he opened the route of conversation.
Actually, it's Pippin who has that. But Mom...
But I don't take showers.
Babe, what's that gamer salt off you?
Oh, hi, Sui. You're still here.
Personal space?
Jesus.
Yeah, so far in this timeline, AJ is, AJ is being more affectionate, so to speak, to others.
Could they have possibly flanderized AJ
Mr.
in their
Ryder.
very debut game?
We're just at the beginning.
Also, Mr. Ryder, the joke of whoever localized this, the joke of you have the thing here in your pocket, or you just hey Junon.
Ah, there she is. God, seeing her side by side, I don't know why. She looks like she has a bit of a different art style. Which I know, yeah, she came in the evil goddess.
She was created for Ugly Dark Force.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, Noe also was created for that game, but his art style matches up with the rest of the game.
Both characters were drawn by Tsunako herself, so it should theoretically be fine in terms of fitting.
I don't think I've ever mentioned this before, and maybe I'm only seeing it now, but something about Juno's art style feels different from everyone else's, which... who knows? Maybe I'm just looking into that a bit weirdly.
So the next time we'll start Chapter 17, A Terrifying Army.
Oh no.
Cheeks tense up. Oh yeah, hold on to your butts.
See ya.
Alright, try.
Yeah.